All right, today's 2-Minute Money episode is going to make some people mad because we are going to be talking about whether or not there's good debt, bad debt, or if everything is just bad debt. And I'm going to make sure that, gotta move the book. Good book, by the way. Highly recommend it. All right, whatever. Let's just get into it. Boom, timer's on. Let's go. All right, so when it comes down to good debt, bad debt, or is it just all bad debt, I'm going to tell you who's right. I think we should build the suspense a little bit. Okay, sorry, my wife told me I was annoying everybody. They both are. And here's why. See, personal finance has a problem. When we focus just on the numbers, we're looking at our little spreadsheets and our little dashboards and things like that, we're really kind of operating within a vacuum. We're just looking at the numbers and trying to figure out what makes most mathematical sense to get a little bit more money, into the green for ourselves, right? That's why I really like to focus on what I call lifestyle design, which is really just answering 3 questions. The first one is, what do you want? Then it's, why do you want it? And then the third one is, how are you going to get it? And in this situation, the third one is really what's relevant here, because when we're focusing on how we're going to get something, that means that we're going to create a strategy for it. Well, debt is part of that strategy in whether or not we're going to have it or not. So I'm not going to straddle the fence and, just leave you with that. I will admit that I do believe there is such a thing as good debt. Perfect example would be my house. I have a 3% interest rate on this. I actually don't think that's good debt. I think that's fantastic debt. So we should really consider expanding this a little bit, making it bad, good, and fantastic, because I'm definitely sitting in that category. So that's one of the things that I think is really important, is that we don't just look at the numbers in a vacuum, because I know millionaires who have paid off their house, they're running their businesses with no debt, and they're doing great. And that's awesome for them. I also know very wealthy people who have leveraged debt in smart ways to accelerate their businesses, their personal wealth, and different things. And guess what? They're doing awesome too. So what they both have in common is not how they're handling debt, but the fact that they both have a strategy and that they have taken how they are going to use debt or completely eradicate it as part of that strategy. And that's the thing that I think we really need to be talking about. Whether or not there's good debt, bad debt, who cares at the end of the day? Let's figure out what it is you want, why you want it, and then how you're going to get it. And if how you're going to get it is, listen, I don't want to worry about, getting called in by creditors during economic crashes and all that, and I want to pay off my house and just have that sense of peace and all that. Okay, that's great. Let's do that. But if you're somebody who's I really want to start building real estate while times are good, do this, leverage debt to get ahead, yada, yada. That's awesome. Let's do that and make sure we mitigate risk on the downside. So like I said, it's not really about good debt versus bad debt and whatever. It's really about, do you have a plan? Do you have a strategy to get what you want? Do you even know what you want? And if you do, focusing in on how you're going to get it. And that's the conversation we ultimately need to have. And by the way, there is such a thing as good debt.